this, and then go over to Facebook and fix that. Okay, Twitch is live.
Okay, good.
Now I have
Hi,
to go,
Twitch.
Now I have to go over and fix Facebook
Oh, okay.
because I think when I would have ended that, it would have ended that live stream. So I got to
So
start
we're now on
another
YouTube.
live stream.
Yeah, we're now on YouTube's live.
Yes, and I'm getting everything back up and going. Just a second. All right. Stop. Okay, yeah. Okay, it may come back up in here just a second. Give us worry. Worry. Think, Drew. Think.
I thought I was the one that would get lost of words. I'm kidding. I'm completely kidding.
You've seen me fight this thing. You know.
Oh yeah, I completely understand. Completely understand.
There's
all right, guys.
Not a bit of this that's going to work right 100% of the time.
Agreed.
And I can't get back to. I can't get back to the video page, guy, because it ended. I'm just going to make a new video.
All right, guys. Yeah, for those of you on Twitch, hi guys.
Be back soon on Facebook, I swear.
Yeah, he's working on it. Technical difficulties, like
stupid,
stupid computer.
Stupid. I knew it was going to happen too.
The digital world is being stupid, or is trying to kill us. One or the other. So yeah, guys, we are watching Digimon Adventure Try movie for Lost. So there again, if you have not watched this movie yet, it's free. It's available freely on most of all free streaming platforms, free on YouTube. So if you haven't watched them, go ahead and watch them. They're great. They're great movies. They're more for the older crowd. It's more for the older fans. That have grown up with Digimon or Digimon Digital Monsters or Digimon Adventure, whatever you want to call it. And we have been steadily going through, and now we're on movie 4, and we have 2 more films to go. And so if you are interested in following along on our adventure through the digital world to defend the world from monsters, in a sense,
so hard to keep this interesting.
Yes, I am. Exactly.
I'm an idiot.
No, you're not an idiot. You're just. But either way,
so see if this is going. I don't think it is.
So if you are interested in continuing the adventure with us, come along, have fun with us, and if you've watched the film so far, great. Comment down below. Let us know what you think of it. Please, there again, if you watched ahead, watch the other 2 films like I have, because you just can't have enough movies of continual movies. Yeah, please don't spoil it for those who haven't watched the rest of it, because some of it gets really good and oh crap, that happened kind of moments. Come
on.
So other than that, be like, if you want to, you can go and stop whatever stream you're doing right now and go watch the film. They're like I think some of them are like 80 minutes to 100 minutes. So they're fairly easy watch. Now, granted, if you don't know anything about Digimon, you might be lost as a goose or lost as a goosemon. But other than that, if you want to continue in this journey with us, just be like, hey, you guys sound like fun. Hey, just come along, have fun, and listen to us, or watch us rather. Listen and watch, because we do. This is a podcast. So, if you want to continue with that, tag along. And I think Drew's getting frustrated. What's the stitch?
Hang on. One thing at a time.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, Drew is our
saved. Good. Let's close that. It just has to pop up. That's all it's got to do. Okay, hang on. I'm going to hit switch to webcam. Not that that's going to do anything. And then back to streaming software.
Drew's just having a rough night, tech-wise.
Why are you way over there?
I have no idea.
Pages.
So I hope
Cellcast podcast.
there we go. So
Create live.
so how are you
Create
guys
live video.
for those of you who are watching us on, I think it's YouTube
Twitch
and
is what we're on. I
and
didn't even
Twitch.
bother trying to get YouTube.
well, I saw YouTube went live. So just basing on that, if you are, and pray for Drew. Drew's about to blow ahead gas script.
Okay, I think I have just learned something very important about how this software works.
What's that?
That will not update again unless I stop the stream and start it again.
Okay. Okay, best bet, stop the stream right now. All right, do what you gotta do, man.
There.
Okay.
Okay. Assuming that's live. Yes, that's live. Good.
Okay.
We are slowly but surely hitting this. Okay. So now here I got to type in the thing time tonight. The Cellcast Live pipe. Digimon Adventure Try Part 4 Loss. Description. Jacob and Drew go crazy trying to review Digimon Adventure
Try
Part 4 Loss. Cursor, get over here. I don't have time to fight you.
So looking at the Twitch stream, be like, it's really pixelated.
It's really pixelated because it's. Trust me, that's fine. This is the reason I don't look at the screen when I'm streaming.
Okay. Yeah, not Adobe. There we go. There we go. That looks much better.
Well, it should. That's playing straight from the computer.
Yeah.
But the other part with the stream, it will fix itself. Trust
All right.
me.
All right.
I'm not worried about that right
now. Again.
Hello again. This is Drew.
This is Jacob.
And we're going nuts.
Apparently. Well, I'm having fun. Drew's having a frustrating time with computer technical difficulties. Let's say that.
Sound effects are working.
Okay, good. So there. Yeah, let's not get pulled into a portal again.
You haven't looked at the script, have you?
I think I read it slightly.
There is a portal.
That is true. Oh, crap.
Oh, it causes...
Never.
Y'all will find that out in a second.
Yeah, you'll figure that out in a moment. But anyways, hey guys, we're reviewing, as you probably read in the description down below, we're reviewing Digimon. I'm trying hard not to follow that.
Sorry, I'm trying to get this done in a way where I can easily
Right.
hit the buttons. Where's that thing? There it is.
Yeah, this is fun when you're trying to focus on a camera, and then your technician is moving everything. You're like the ADD mind's going, wait a minute, where's everything going?
But it was so close.
Focus.
I was thinking what I wanted to. That thing needs to pop out so I can move it over here. Sorry, excuse me. I'm trying to make things easier. I mean, because you can see how hard it is to read those buttons from this far away.
Yes, it is.
That's what annoys me.
Okay, gotcha. So yeah, we are reviewing for our podcast, the Cellcast, which is an animated movie review podcast. We're reviewing Digimon Adventure Try Part 4, or Movie 4, Loss. So if you have watched the film, great. Comment down below wherever you're viewing this. If you liked it, you disliked it, whatever. Please, get the conversation started. And I know Drew has worked very hard to get everything to work correctly now. I would.
Except YouTube. YouTube
Except
is just. I would worry more if YouTube wasn't just archive at this point.
Right.
And I can have Twitch uploaded over there. I just have to remember to. So that's
Right.
not the end of the world.
Right. So yeah. So we were started
Nobody
review.
watches this on YouTube. Just sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all good. So yeah, we will get started very shortly with our review of this said movie, Digimon Adventure Tribe Part 4 Lost. And if you haven't seen them already, there again, if you saw the little bits of in and out live streams we've done, that we've done the last couple of minutes, it's available on YouTube and all the free streaming platforms. So if you haven't watched it yet, or have you watched any of the films yet, they're available for free to watch. And there again, if you are not a Digimon fan, this may not be exactly the movie to go into, because it's leaving a lot of lore up in the air to be like.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
It's like, don't review the thing before we've even started the podcast.
I'm not.
I know you're giving fair warning to these people.
Yes,
but,
yes. Fair warning. They'll be like, this is a review, so we spoil the snot out of these films.
which you'll know once we hit the spoiler warning.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Anyways,
have you looked at the script? Is going to be my next question.
yes, I did.
Okay.
I did.
Did you notice at one point I put idle chatter because I didn't know what to write at that moment?
Yeah,
That's just going to be us quickly ad-libbing until for a couple seconds, long enough for Deela to do whatever she's doing, and
Yeah.
then I'll hit, and then we'll stop, and I'll hit that sound effect.
okay.
That's how that's going to work. It's just,
Right. Okay.
You know what I probably haven't done?
What's
Muted
that?
my phone.
Turned it down.
I muted the phone.
Ah.
So now if someone tries to phone
that is
me
a good call, because that has happened a few times.
Yeah. All right.
All right. So we are live on Twitch,
Twitch and
Facebook. Okay.
Sorry, YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay. You ready?
And what do I have a?
I don't know.
No. It's got looks like a cursor, but I don't think it's.
Oh, because I tapped up here, so that's me.
Oh,
See,
okay.
if I tap down here somewhere, it'll move.
Oh, okay. You have control of my device. What?
No, it's just how the cloud.
I know.
thing works.
I know. I'm kidding.
Oh, great! I just saw you peek over here.
Eek.
Sorry, I switched streaming things, even though I am going through still Riverside for our stuff. It's a big. What do you call those machines that they did a comic strip? It's like Mousetrap.
Oh, a maze?
No, the game Mousetrap.
Okay.
It's a type of comically absurd machine that does a really simple task.
Oh,
Rube Goldberg.
Rube.
Yeah,
Goldberg.
my stream setup is a Rube Goldberg device because
I gotcha.
it goes from here to OBS to Riverside and then to y'all. So, woo!
Yeah.
And that wasn't even what was causing the problem earlier. That problem
Over the hills and through the woods.
that problem was just the same problem I have with Riverside every once in a while anyway. So,
All right,
anyway,
good deal. All right.
let's do this thing.
All right.
You're first.
All right. I thought so. I was waiting for a cue. Okay. All right. Woosa. All right. Okay, the DigiJustin has gone to the digital world. Can we please go home now?
Yeah, D, look, this demonstration is cool and all, but we need to think it over. So if you could send us home now that the movie is over, that would be great. Really, D-Lit, we need to think about it, but we got to get back home.
Yeah, seriously, come on.
Yeah, I mean-
this is ridiculous. Come on. Really?
I mean, we have lives to get.
Yeah, we got
Okay,
lives,
kinda
we got
little-
families, we got work to do. Come on.
We're not trying to berate her.
Yeah.
It's just us talking back and forth because that actually sounds like we're getting mad at her.
Yeah.
I'm wondering how long it's been since we actually been back. Because
Yeah, exactly.
here it feels like only 2 hours have passed, but who knows?
Yeah, exactly. I'm hungry. Like, for some reason, I'm always hungry. I don't know why.
Not to mention you were tired before this thing started after a long day at work. and
Yeah, that is
everything.
true. That is so true. Just weird. What the?
You're getting some odd readings, but we should be good to go.
Good. I'm ready to get the heck out of here. Whoops. What do you mean, whoops?
I don't have that sound effect.
We're in the digital world, aren't we?
Yep. Okay, Deela, what happened? Activating the portal so close to where the DigiDestin's portal caused yours to malfunction? And now it's burnt out for 2 hours?
Really? Oy.
Well, let's find someplace safe to hang out until Deela's portal can be reactivated.
Yeah, okay. We really don't want to be out here if the DigiDestined find their Digimon and get into a fight with, oh, I don't know, Metal Draymon or Metal Seedramon or whatever one of those Mons.
This is part of the joke. Machine Dramon and Metal Seedramon.
Right.
The two in the movie.
Yes. All right, let me start that over.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. We really don't want to be out here if the DigiDestined find their Digimon and get into a fight with, oh, I don't know, Machine Dramon or Metal Seedramon.
Like that would ever happen.
One up.
And then that would be the theme song starts. Paul J. Powers is in our chat. He says, through grandmother's house?
Pretty much.
Sounds like Hubert. Chase thinks we've gotten into the special brownies. I have no idea what you're talking about. I have never had special brownies. Except for those ones with the extra chocolate in it. I don't know what you're talking about, Chase.
Oh my gosh. Skits, you gotta love them.
Okay. Scooting back to the regular show notes.
Yes.
All right. Just let me know when you're ready to do the full thing.
All right. Let me... Hold on. Where is that?
Yeah, that trolley sound effect that I didn't have, I still got to go and capture off the movie. I have ways. Paul says, brownies.
Yes, brownies sound amazing unless you have Tourette's disorder and chocolate triggers your Tourette's. And it's like, yay!
I'm still waiting for the day one of those involuntary ones pops through on the show.
Oh, that'll be fun.
You know it's not getting there edited out.
No, it won't.
We'll just because I'll immediately have Deela go, what on earth is going on?
It's like, don't ask.
I need. I've recognized. I'm still missing 2 Deela sound effects. I need one for questioning and one for panic.
Panic?
I need a panic one and I need a questioning one, and I don't have either one of those right now.
It's a process.
Work in progress. It took me it was a fun enough time getting these. Well, not 5 sound effects. Now that I've got the portal set up. So
yeah.
Anyway.
All right. So let's kick this pig.
A Digipig?
A Digipig.
Okay.
I know there's a Digimon that's a pig. I just can't remember what the character's name is.
Pigdramon?
No, it's not a Pigdramon. That's
Suidramon? Suimon?
Suimon.
Suimon!
There we go.
All
right. Let's go.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Cellcast. Joining me today is a man who, he's a little lost. Welcome, Jacob.
Ain't that the truth? Sometimes, yes. Yeah. Yeah. Now I'm lost as goose. Where am I supposed to go with this?
I don't know. Where do you go with it?
I don't know. Why, thank you. And let me introduce our co-host. A man who just needed a walk in the desert, like sand desert, not forest desert. Welcome, Drew.
Problem is I hate sand. It's coarse, it's rough, and it gets everywhere.
Okay, Anakin.
But I have been through the desert on a horse with no name. It did feel good to get out of the rain.
Yeah, that's true. That was a very confusing song too.
I think it has something to do with Chase's special brownies.
Maybe,
Anyway.
yeah. We yeah.
That one's getting cut. So how are you doing, Jacob?
Man, I'm doing very well. It's been a very busy week so far. Yeah, just looking forward to the weekend, like we all are.
Mhm.
If you have a 9 to 5 job or an 8 to 5 job, whatever.
9 to 5.
Exactly.
Except I work from 6:30 to 3.
Yeah, so most of us are looking forward to the weekend, unless you just have this, your dream job.
Everybody's working for
On
the
the
weekend.
weekend.
Why do I have all these songs in my head today?
I don't know. But either way, be like, yeah, most of us are looking forward to the weekend, unless you have your dream job. And I know some people are like that, and it's like, man, I love my job. Great for you. I love my job in some capacities. Sometimes I'm more like, yay, I love my job. And other days I'm like, can I just go home now? But either way.
You can never go back.
Yeah, either way. Hey, anyways. Yeah, so that has been, as I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
It's been an interesting week.
Yeah.
There's a lot I cannot talk about
Right.
because it's personal, private stuff. But
Mhm.
if you're of the if you're of the praying type, we'll request your prayers. But it's nothing. It's serious, but it's not serious. I
Yeah.
don't know a good way to explain it.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Right.
other than that, it's been okay. Had a good weekend.
Good deal.
The trivia for this week, because it is trivia time.
Yes.
Our question last week was, as seen in Digimon Adventure Part 3, Confession, Mega Kabuterimon has a different name in the West than he has in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
What is his Japanese name? Jacob.
At the second,
We just talked about
we just talked
this.
about it. But there again, when you have ADD and dyslexia, your mind goes everywhere else. And
You have short-term memory problems. That's your problem. Isn't it?
Huh?
Is it?
I have short-term memory problems.
I'm guessing. I mean, admittedly, when you said, huh, I was like, yeah, that proves it. But I didn't jump on that fast enough.
No, you didn't. But either way, what is it anyway?
Oh, short-term memory problems?
No!
Oh, you mean
What the trivia answer?
You mean Mega Kabuterimon's Japanese name?
Yes!
That would be Atler Kabuterimon,
Thank you.
which Josh Adams answered correctly.
Thank you, Josh.
Yes. So we'll be asking another question at the end of the show, so stay tuned for that. Anyway,
Yeah.
what have you been watching this week, Jacob?
What have I been watching? Now, did we watch anything over Chase's?
No, we did not.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
We got to talking entirely too much.
Yes,
Sunday
we did.
night.
Yes, we did.
Not that that's a problem.
No, there's never a problem with talking, but just talk
It-
about general stuff.
It took about twice as long to get through the Bible study as it normally does.
It happens. All right, so what I have been watching, so I've started a new, like a kind of a movie challenge
Mm-hmm.
page on Facebook. New year, new movies, 2020 movie challenge.
2022, you mean?
2022, I meant, yes.
Because 2020 was 2 years ago.
Yeah, that is true.
Boy, was that a year I thought was going to go entirely differently.
Yeah,
I was
agreed.
in one of those 100 movie challenges.
Yes,
that
you
year.
were. This is actually based
And
off
I,
that.
and I thought,
Mhm.
that would be a shoe-in. Because we had 2 podcasts going at the time.
Right.
Some of the stuff I saw that was on the list for movie of the week at the time were stuff I hadn't seen. Some of it was stuff I'd seen, but most of it I hadn't seen.
Right.
I knew we had some Cellcast stuff I hadn't seen coming up. And I thought, well, you pepper in all the brand new movies
Mm-hmm.
that were coming out that year that were not on either list.
Oh, yeah.
I thought, surely, I will have this done by June.
And then COVID.
And then
happened.
COVID happened. and I was like 10 short, and I was rushing to get those last 10 because believe it or not, I didn't jump on watching on streaming movies because, unlike some people, I had to go to work, so I didn't have any
That
free
is
time
true.
off. Not that you had that luxury.
No, I didn't either. I didn't have that leisure. Some of us actually had to work through the pandemic.
Yeah.
And
some of us didn't get to spend any time at home.
yeah.
Well, except during Snowpocalypse 2021.
Yeah, exactly. That was a trip. Let's say that.
Yeah.
But yes, I have been watching a few things. Definitely for that movie challenge, I've watched. As of the moment, I've watched War Games, which is an amazing film.
You're welcome for the suggestion.
Thank you. That was a very good film. It's got some surreal moments to where it's like, whoa, you can definitely apply it now to to the modern age. So this movie was made like in '83, I believe. And so continue on the Digimon Adventure Tri movie series. I've watched. I counted Lost. I counted Co-Extinction, which is the fifth one, and Future, which is the sixth film.
What did you call the fifth one? Kokshi?
Coexistence.
That's not what you said. It didn't sound like that's what you said.
Oh, okay.
I heard Kokshi.
Kochi. Okay.
I don't know what that is.
Kochi. Okay. Coexistence.
Okay.
Coexistence is the fifth
of course,
one.
you watched all this after our adventures in the digital world.
Yeah.
Which was fun.
Yeah. Hey, sometimes you just be like, oh my gosh, I gotta figure out what's next. And then what's next? And it's like, oh, it's over. Oh, okay, awesome.
Yes, we know that wasn't your fault. If we hadn't pushed you to open the portal right then, you wouldn't have had that problem.
True.
We recognize that was more on us, but because we didn't know what was going on, we apologize. Thankfully, we're getting this worked out. So, yes. I mean, yeah, it's been interesting doing this with Deedlit so far. I'm kind of curious where this is going to go. You're not going to jump in on this, are you?
I was reading something in the comments.
Oh.
What were we saying? Sorry. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Chase.
I said it's been interesting doing this with Deedlit, don't
yes,
you think?
Yes, it has. Oh my gosh. If I got to run from another Pteranodon, I'm going to be like, I don't know what I'm going to do.
There wasn't a Pteranodon there. Now, there might have been a Tyrannosaurusmon.
Tyrannomon?
Tyrannomon.
Thank you. Tyrannomon. That's what they're called.
Sorry, we don't. As cool as inclusive as Deedlit's database is, it doesn't have the name of every Digimon like Izzymon.
Is Izzymon?
Like Izzy has.
Right. Either way.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway.
All right. So yeah, I've finished. I've watched all the movies. There again, I'm not going to spoil them. I'm going to go back and rewatch the last two before we do the reviews for I can refresh. I could be refreshed on what I missed in the last reviewing or not. But yes, I'll go back and review those. And so I picked up on a series going forward with another thing I've watched. I started picking up where I left off with One Punch Man.
3, 2, 1, let's jam.
Yeah, exactly. So
I think I jumped that into tank, but anyway.
Yeah, kind of. But yeah, this is like One Punch Man is like nuts. Like absolutely
no kidding.
Yeah. I'd be like just being sarcastic here, but just an amazing show that kind of takes the how would you describe One Punch Man? Kind of
it mocks everything.
It does. It's kind of like mocks. I was looking for another word.
It lovingly mocks, I should say.
Yeah.
Because everything it makes fun of, it is just having fun with it. Doesn't even say it's bad.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it goes everything from Superman to Kamen Rider to Dragon Ball Z.
Indeed.
Attack on Titan is in there.
Yeah, agreed.
Sailor Moon is in there in a very odd one, but yes, it's there.
Yes, yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, that character. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I started watching that, and so I got through season 1. and actually someone in chat right now actually brought it up because he had called me, Chase, Murphy. I'm
We've
letting
said
the
his-
world know it's Chase Murphy who
We've
called me.
said his name enough in this. People know who it is now. He's
Yeah.
just a part.
He's-
If nothing else, he's a name that floats in the ether of this podcast who happened to be on the show once.
Yeah, exactly. So Chase called me because he was wondering, because I borrowed a book and I was supposed to return it.
To give it back.
I forgot to give it back.
Shame.
I didn't mean
on
to. I just
you.
brought it. It was in my. I brought it with me. It was in my bag, and then we got distracted, and I forgot to give him the book.
Sure.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so we wound up talking about One Punch Man, and so he mentioned that, be like, oh yeah, season 1's amazing. So be like, so I just started season 2, and
I tried season 2. I didn't get far.
I'm
It's a different animation studio.
oh yeah, it's definitely a different animation studio, but I'm enjoying the mess out of it right now.
Okay.
Like even though Chase said, be like, yeah, I would highly recommend not watching it. Be like, to me, I really enjoy it. So it's one of those series that's just like, oh, okay. So it takes away from the, oh, let's punch the monster every time. Let's develop the characters and develop what's going on. It gets a little nutty. Like season 1 was already nuts. This gets a little more nut. Like it goes more, oh, okay, there's a grander world there with all this stuff. So I find it interesting. I'm not done with it yet, but I'm kind of plowing through it. So yeah, I am enjoying season 2 of One Punch Man, even though there's a lot of people who just didn't like it or dismissed it.
I never got back around to it.
It's understandable. Be like,
And really, for me, it was more the fact that when I watched the first one, I was really ready for that second one. As soon as the show ended, I was fine waiting a month or two for season 2 to come out.
Mhm.
Season 2 came out 2 years later.
yeah,
I kind of had fallen off the grid of it.
right.
And when I saw the trailer, I was like, meh. That's not as good as I want. It doesn't look as good as I wanted it. It probably is good, but
Yeah.
meh. Hey, Mob Psycho 100 by the same guy.
Yeah.
Same manga author has the same problem for me.
Really?
It's like the first one came out and it was great.
Mm-hmm.
Second one started, it's like, I'm not feeling this. I don't know what it is. I'm just not feeling it.
Understood. But yeah, that is all I've been watching. What about you, Drew?
Well, I posted on our Facebook page earlier today a little Pokemon short.
Oh yeah,
Even though this is Digimon, this is like literally released the day we're recording.
yeah,
Bidoof's Big Break or something to that effect. I can't remember now what it's called.
big deal, big
I'll find it here in just a second.
yeah, that was like, I watched it before I came over here and I was like, wow, it's pretty good. It's a little silent film that all you get is like grunts and what Digimon or whatever, or Pokemon.
It is the Pokemon sound effects.
Yeah.
At least. Bidoof's Big Stand. That's what it was
Bidoof's
called.
Big Stand. That's how do you pronounce his name? Bidoof.
Bidoof.
I was like, okay, it's a beaver Pokemon.
Yes.
Okay.
Ignore the thing. I'm trying to go back again.
Wow.
Sorry.
Or should it be more like, "Ora. Stay over there."
There. Okay. Now slowly move across to here. Thank you. And now come over here and Deedlet, can you give me a mark? Thank you, Deedlet.
There we go. So yeah, you mentioned
Yes,
you were
I watched. It just happened to pop up on my YouTube feed.
Yeah.
Like I was not even looking for something, and it didn't come up on any of my socials because it literally released 4 hours before I saw it.
wow.
And I just like, oh, this is kind of cool. This is neat. I'm liking this story. It honestly, we've had little discussions that we honestly should have recorded
Agree.
about our feelings between Digimon and Pokemon.
Right. And eventually we might do a recording over that.
We are talking about it, but
Right.
this short pretty much embodies what I was telling you about how the Pokemon are not being enslaved to fight. They're actually wanting to fight for their
Okay.
trainers,
Mm.
and this kind of shows that in a very good way. Of course, I'm also remember if you've not watched it, at one point, Bidoof gets thrown into a fight because he's the last Pokemon the trainer has.
Mm-hmm.
Poor Lucario got his butt whooped.
Mm.
And he's, he gets thrown out there. He's just like really excited, and he realizes where he is, and he goes and hides behind the trainer.
It's like, I'm not
Like,
doing this.
Yeah, and it says, and as the camera zooms out, you can see the trainer he's fighting has 2 Pokemon left, and he's only got Bidoof. And I'm sitting there going, I've been there. And when I've played this game, where I only have 1 Pokemon left, and it is the trash Pokemon. Because that's kind of how he's treated for a bit throughout this, is always just doing all what we used to call an HM slave.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was the character you threw all the HMs on so you could get through the game, but you wouldn't honestly fight with him. I hate the term actually now, but that's what we called it back in the day. And that's kind of what Bidoof here was, but then he was able to prove himself. So it was a nice, cool little short.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. Also, I've been watching a little bit of, I think I've talked about this before, but the Godzilla, the series based on the 98 Godzilla movie.
Yeah.
I was in middle of episode 11 when you came over,
Right.
which is the Loch Ness Monster episode. That was, that so far is fun. I'm going to have to back up, rewind a bit, because I was also in the middle of doing some other stuff while that started, but that's neither here nor there. Watched a little bit of the season finale or mid-season finale of Star Trek Discovery.
Okay.
And then I don't remember if I've talked about Star Trek Prodigy on this show, because I saw the first 5 episodes back in November.
Yeah, it's been
and I think I mentioned it, but the newest episode of Star Trek Prodigy was amazing.
Okay.
They somehow manage. Okay, I'll put it to you this way: they take 5 characters from throughout all Star Trek and put them on a holodeck during the Kobayashi Maru scenario.
Really?
You know the Kobayashi Maru because you've seen Star Trek 2.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as soon as I saw
Best Star Trek movie ever.
You know, as soon as I saw the episode name Kobayashi, it's like, oh, somebody's getting the no-win scenario here.
Uh-huh.
And of course, it's our main protagonist because he thinks he's going to be captain. He might be captain. I don't know. I haven't made a decision on this guy yet. But at one point, his bridge crew, because he can't decide on anybody because he doesn't know who any of these Star Trek characters are, because he's from the Delta Quadrant.
Yep.
He just says, "Oh, give me the best ones you got," and it throws up Dr. Crusher, Uhura, TOS era Uhura, Odo from Deep Space Nine.
Okay.
And at one point, after the engineer, his friend he kicks him out of there, they bring in Scotty, and of course Spock is there.
Of course.
And the thing is, with the exception of Dr. Crusher, all those actors are past.
Yes.
So they actually were using audio clips from past Star Trek episodes. And I don't know how they had the wherewithal to get the best clips for these situations. But they did it so well that honestly, you forget, with some small exceptions, you forget that they're using old audio.
Yeah.
I mean, all the TOS era people are still kind of in that old mono sound. They're not the nice full stereo that post TNG sounded.
Yeah.
But Odo sounded like like Rene Auberjonois was in the studio recording these lines.
Really?
Even though he's passed.
Wow.
So, yeah, I mean, they did a good job with it. And I was laughing my fool head off. I think they even had Michael Dorn voicing the Klingons at one point.
Okay.
Which was, well, they all looked like him, so I don't know why you wouldn't.
Right.
But, although it'd been funny if one of them was Christopher Lloyd. Lloyd, yes.
Yeah, Christopher Lloyd.
Christopher Lloyd. I'm sorry, there's a lot of Christophers in Hollywood.
There are.
In geekdom, most specifically.
That is true.
So I get them confused.
Yes.
But anyway, that episode was very good. I'm going to suggest that. And probably once we go back and do Lower Decks season 2, I'm probably going to throw Prodigy on the list
Okay.
because I am enjoying the full of it. I think you will too. And you actually have to. You actually don't need to know less Star Trek than Lower Decks. You have to know for Lower Decks.
Okay.
You don't need to know that much because it literally, all the characters have no idea who the Federation is, or any of that stuff.
Wow.
It's an original story. The only quote unquote character that's new, that's from the old series, that's on there regularly, is Hologram Janeway, which is a hologram of Captain Janeway from Voyager. And she actually, and Kate Mulgrew is actually doing a good job as her because they actually got her to come back for that. Anyway, I think other than that, I actually started a new anime today. Not a new one that's new to me.
Really?
Yes. How the Realist Hero Rebuilt the Kingdom. It is an isekai.
Okay, I gathered.
But it is all like based in bureaucracy. This guy gets summoned to this fantasy-esque town because the kingdom has got like no money whatsoever, and so they summoned him so they could give him to the Empire, who they owe money to, so that he can fight the demons for the Empire, because the Empire apparently can't summon heroes.
Okay.
And he says, wouldn't it be a better idea if I got your finances fixed so you wouldn't have to do this? He says, I guess that's a great idea. Oh, by the way, you're king now.
Okay. Thunk. Okay.
And I'm giving you my daughter's hand in marriage. By the way, I haven't talked to her about this yet.
Oh!
So, of course, she comes back. She actually thinks the kingdom has been usurped. So she comes back, sword out, ready to cut the heads off everybody. She comes in on her parents kind of just doing some flirting. Not anything worse than flirting, but it's essentially what it is. Being lazy bums. And they explain, everything's fine. There's no trouble. It's just, I realized that the hero we summoned was actually going to do a better job of running the kingdom than I did, so I gave it to him, and by the way, you're betrothed.
Wow.
It's been interesting. And that's just the first episode. It's a bit, I'm actually very interested. I actually got through 4 episodes before I realized I'd gone through 4 episodes.
Oh, okay.
It's one of those where I guess, like, if I did not have to stop and, start doing stuff to get ready for the show.
Right.
And I didn't have to, like, pay this super close attention, because, don't get me wrong, I like Godzilla, but I don't have to pay that close attention to Godzilla.
Right.
As much as I was paying close attention to this. And it was one of those things where it's like, if I don't turn this off now, I'm going to get distracted the entire time. So I need to turn it off now and go do something else.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I did that. I watched that show. And I think other than that, that is everything.
Oh, okay. So there was a little, not really an issue, because it was brought up. It was brought up during, because I'm not trying to cut anybody off.
Issue?
Not an issue. I apologize.
You said issue.
No, I said an issue.
I'm
but
curious.
I didn't say issue.
Curious what the issue is.
Okay, issue, like what the issue was, because it was more like the short-term memory. Like you said something about short-term memory.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yes, I do have short-term memory problems. I know you were picking on me. I get that.
Yeah.
I totally get that. And so I wanted to like get down to it. It's like, okay, I know ADD and short-term memory loss just have a correlation with each other. So I did do a little digging, a little bit. So just to let you guys know,
this quick little rabbit trail we're going down.
Quick little rabbit trail. According to everydayhealth.com, ADD is associated with short-term memory problems. Although I'm reading from the site. Although they do not have problems with long-term memory, people with ADD may have impaired short-term or working memory, research shows. As a result, they may have difficulty remembering assignments and completing tasks that require focus and concentration. So, yeah, with ADD, you're going to have some short-term memory little things. So it's like, wait, what was I doing? Or wait, what did he just say? That's what I deal with every day. So, yeah, that's welcome to my little head.
In other words, he's nuts. Anyway.
Bunkers, totally nuts.
I hate that show.
I do too. I just remember the theme song.
What do we got in the news?
All right. So, come back here. It's like chasing a rabbit on my screen. Exactly. All right, so in the
It's
news.
actually the wrong D-Lip thing, but it's fine.
All right, so the Golden Globes have been apparently they have obviously they are no longer they're not being broadcast on ABC right now due to issues which we're not going to go into on this broadcast and podcast. But apparently in Canto, I'm going to say this right, in Canto,
yes.
Encanto has won the Golden Globe for Best Movie Picture, Best Motion Picture for Animation.
D-Lip is happy you said it right.
Thank you. So yes. So
D-Lip's also wondering when we're going to watch it.
yeah, we'll get there when we get there.
He says okay.
Okay. Yeah, it'll be a movie we watch in this upcoming year.
Eventually,
Along
with everything else.
Yeah, exactly. How many movies are coming out this year? But either way, so yes, Encanto has won from obviously it's, the Walt Disney Animated Studios. Encanto has won best motion picture for the animated category.
Yes,
so
best animated motion picture.
Yeah, so congratulations to the team
On the
over
Golden Globe Awards.
at the Walt Disney Studios for their nomination for their award.
Meanwhile, you keep shafting Pixar back to Disney Plus.
Oh my gosh!
I'm assuming that's on your list.
Oh
somewhere.
yeah,
I'm just jumping ahead.
yes, no. Be like that's a yeah. So, as most people have known, if you're an animation person, you follow the news.
Disney hates Pixar now, apparently.
Because
they keep not letting their stuff get to theaters.
This is 3 movies they've
in
done
a
this
row.
with. In a row.
Now, I understand Soul. That was still at the tail end of when the pandemic was really bad.
Yeah.
And most theaters hadn't opened up yet.
Yeah, that was understandable.
Luca, that I can maybe see y'all made that decision and decided to stick with it because you didn't know how things were going.
Right.
Theaters are open right now.
Yeah.
What is your excuse?
Okay, so I will get that excuse.
Do that. At least give them the $30 thing so I can just go to the theater and not feel bad.
Yeah.
They're not getting extra money on a Disney Plus exclusive.
No, they're not.
Which annoys me.
Mm-hmm. All right, so going into this,
these are the people who made Toy Story, for crying out loud, and you're just shafting them.
Agreed. So let me read the article real. All right, so Disney Media and Entertainment Distribution announced that Disney and Pixar's Turning Red will premiere exclusively at home worldwide. There again, there's another issue with the worldwide thing. I'll get to that in a minute. On Disney Plus on Friday, March 11th. The shift to streaming from going to theaters was due to the ongoing COVID pandemic following the platform's successful premiere of other successful Hollywood titles. Our Karen Daniels, chairman of Disney Media and Entertainment Distribution, giving her quote, given the delayed box office recovery, particular for family films, flexibility remains at the core of our distribution decisions as we are delivering an unparalleled content of the Walt Disney Company to audiences around the world. Now, I do want to mark this exact same article. They did bring this up. The international market for Disney Plus is not available yet. The movie will be released in theaters overseas with premiere dates to be announced. So there again, this movie is getting released, apparently is getting released worldwide, but in America, it's not getting released theatrically. It's only going to Disney Plus.
Which is dumb.
Which is stupid. Seriously, Disney. There again, I still love the Walt Disney Company. They're an amazing company.
And Disney Plus is a great service. Do not get me wrong.
No.
But I don't want my brand new movies coming out on there. If they were supposed to be released in the theater, I want to go to the theater because as real as COVID is, do not get me wrong.
Yeah, it is real.
I've been going to the theater since Bill and Ted Face the Music came out.
Right.
Obviously, I'm not worried about COVID right now. Or not as worried.
But also we live in Texas.
I went on a cruise. I'm not scared of the COVID virus. I'm aware of it, and I keep an eye out, and I watch the stuff. But for the most part, let's move on.
Yes.
Anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, exactly. So there
is literally no reason not to put it in theaters other than Disney's being stupid.
All right. So with that little rant out of the way, because believe me, that's a rant.
Yeah.
All right. So going into another movie series we haven't even touched yet. Apparently, it's a sequel that is doing blockbusters in theaters right now. So Illumination has scored another
Sing.
Yeah, Sing. That's
I'm sitting there going, what have we not touched on? Oh, Sing. We haven't done Sing yet.
Yeah, we haven't done Sing yet. So we will eventually get around to reviewing Sing and Sing 2.
Yes, it's just not made it on the list yet.
No, it hasn't made the list yet, but we'll get there. All right, so Illumination has scored another finance. I love reading disorders.
I'm just giving you a hand.
No, you're good.
Franchise.
I knew the word. I just couldn't read it. I couldn't read it. So
you got tongue-tied and then you got stuck.
Exactly. It happens. ADD dyslexia. You gotta love it. All right. So another franchise box office hit in the spike of the Omicron spikes. I got that from Ben Shapiro. Just be like, I just love it. If you want to listen to a really good podcast, the Ben Shapiro Show. Just saying, the Daily Wire, go listen to it. It's great.
Just remember, if you've ever watched Futurama, you know the aliens that always came from Omicron Persei 8. Well, we're actually fighting the virus from Omicron Persei 8.
Anyways, as Sing Team continues to lure family audiences into the theater with its siren song, that's what the article says. It's what I'm reading. Let's see.
Someone being a little too creative with the terminology.
Yes.
There is singing involved, but none of them are sirens.
Yeah, it's true. All right. So the movie debuted on Friday. It's taken another $11.9 million for Universal. For the weekend, it hit $109 million over its third weekend to become the third highest grossing domestic animated release since the pandemic shutdown ramped up in March 2020. The movie's worldwide total is $190.5 million. So Sing 2 is doing very well in theaters.
Good. The first one I remember being fun.
Oh, okay.
I haven't seen the second one yet.
I haven't watched the first one yet. But eventually we will get around to reviewing this film. So, yes. Like, even though apparently Disney's worried to release Pixar films during the Omicron scare, apparently Illumination and Universal isn't.
Which is ironic considering Universal released Trolls 2 digitally first and made more money with that, to the point where they actually talked about reducing the amount of the time between theatrical and home video, since they made so much more money releasing straight to home video than they ever did in theaters. And yet they're still following the old trend while Disney's being stupid.
Yeah. I understand business decisions. I get it. But why are you being selective about Pixar?
D-Lit's not happy either.
I understand.
It'd be one thing if it was still affecting Disney stuff. Like if Encanto had happened to Encanto.
Agreed.
I would be a lot better about it.
Yeah.
But this is the third movie in a row.
Yes.
Do you realize that Onward was the last Pixar movie in theaters?
Yeah, that was like early 2020.
Yes,
early
2020.
Yeah.
They have released 3 other movies, or 2 other movies, a third one coming up soon.
Mm-hmm.
That have had to go straight to Disney Plus because Disney being stupid about this.
Yeah.
There's literally no reason not to do like you were doing with the even though I hated it, the Disney Plus Premiere Access thing.
Yeah.
Charge people $30 extra to watch it at home.
Yeah.
You can do that, and I won't give a flying banana because I'll ignore it. Like I've done like everything but that live action Mulan that we reviewed for Movie of the Week podcast.
Right.
I'll ignore it and go to the theater like I normally do.
Right.
Let me make that. Let that be my decision. Just put it out in theaters.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's all.
Rant over. We got any other news before we
No,
get into the
that's-
spoiler-free section?
No,
on this?
I think we're good.
All right. Well, then we need to start getting spoiler-free. That sounds weird. We need to do the spoiler-free section of our review of Digimon Adventure Tri-Part 4 Loss.
Yes,
This one is most definitely the anniversary episode.
it is.
Because they just like hit every little anniversary thing on there. I don't even have as much nostalgia for Digimon Adventure or Digimon like you do.
Mhm.
And I'm sitting there going, I recognize that trolley.
Mm-hmm.
I recognize that playpen looking area.
Uh-huh.
I think I of course recognize the desert.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I recognize the mountain on that one spot.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still sitting there going, y'all, there's none of the original stuff for this was this detailed.
No.
So y'all did a little bit more work into this. That it must be coming up again, I'm guessing. I mean, you've seen the other two. I haven't.
Yeah,
So maybe some of this stuff's going to show back up again. I don't know.
maybe.
I'm thinking if you'd put this much work into recreating some of this stuff, you could have shown it earlier in some of the other scenes. But, you know, whatever.
Well, my assumption would be is they were waiting for the anniversary, the 30th anniversary to come up. So hey, let's go back to the digital world.
I
boom.
get that, but there were some flashback scenes.
Yeah.
Not flashback scenes, but well, they were flashback scenes to stuff that happened after the movie, after the show went off, but before Adventure Tri started.
Right.
That they could have actually maybe, you know, like I'm thinking of the one where Leomon protects Elikmon
Yeah.
and the babies,
Yeah.
and it's obviously in some weird area
Mhm.
that is not the whatever that playpen area is that he's in. They could have used, even if it was a much corrupted version of that,
Right.
due to, you know, the distortion and everything. They could have used some of that, but they didn't, which is weird.
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there. That's not even that important. I really enjoyed this one. It was fun. It was dark. Don't get me wrong, but this is not the dark that Confession was, because Confession,
Mm-hmm.
like we talked about, was let's give everyone in the Digimon movie despair.
Yeah, exactly.
This, yeah, there's still some darkness here,
Mm-hmm.
but you can tell we are coming up out of it because it's all leading to one event that I'm going to talk about a lot here in a minute.
Okay.
It all leads up to one thing, and that's when we're back at the top of this. And yeah, there's still a lot of dark moments in here.
Oh, yeah.
But there comes a point where it's like we are out of the dark part of the story, and we're getting back to the not so dark part. I think that's
Yeah.
because it's. I mean, at the beginning, it's still very black and white. We
Right.
are in gray territory right now.
Oh,
and it's
yeah.
probably gonna be gray territory all the way to the end, I'm guessing.
Oh, it is.
Even though we do know some characters who are definitely evil
Yeah.
and some characters who are definitely good, but it's going to be a little gray area going forward because, you know, it's life. Not everything's as black and white as we'd like it to be.
Exactly.
But anyway, I enjoyed this. I actually think kids can watch it, even if there's one or two scenes where I'm going, "Ugh, that creeps me out."
Yeah, just a bit. I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like Drew said, be like, yeah, this is very much you're in the gray zone, and which kind of reminds me of
And I wasn't going to bring that up.
what?
Other properties with the word gray in it.
No, I wasn't. I don't think I was even.
Okay, then never mind.
I wasn't even
Moving
mentioning
on.
that. I was mentioning something that I have talked about in length, referring to this series. Talk about the Dark Ocean, that I've mentioned off and on. It's a very gray area. So either way, I'm not going to get into that yet.
You already had that rant.
Yeah, I've already had that rant. I think in some parts I'm right, in some parts I'm wrong. But overall, be like this part 4 was very good. It got into a little more. It got into some very not cringy, but it's like, oh, okay, they went there with that with certain.
We'll discuss that.
Yeah, we will discuss
in a
that.
minute.
We will discuss that in a minute. It's a great story. You know, it's about almost like a reunification of characters and getting to know each other again.
It's like, let's make Digimon season 1, but faster.
pretty much. Pretty much. And yeah, just be like these great story character developments and leading into what is going to be
Coexistence.
coexistence. Thank you.
Not Coke existence.
Not Coke existence. Not like what you're drinking there.
Precisely.
Exactly. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. It had some really great moments, had some like, oh my gosh, you went there moments, and the ending is like, okay, that's like, yeah, okay, this is getting good and creepy at the exact same time. So yeah, that is my spoiler free talk on this movie.
Which means we now need to get to spoiling this thing. Join us on the other side of the bumpers, and we'll be doing just that. Don't forget that you can download. Don't forget that you can. Don't forget that you can listen to us record the podcast live every Tuesday over on our Facebook page, The Cellcast, our Twitch channel, The Cellcast Gaming, and on YouTube at Cellcast. Also, don't forget to join our Patreon if you would like to support us monetarily. At $1, you'll get our everlasting thanks. At our $5 tier, you can get some artwork from Jacob, and at our $10 tier, you can get bloopers for every episode we've released that I've remembered to release them for, and you can get commentaries from different movies. So come check us out over there if you would like to support us financially. This podcast is part of the Culture Box Media Network. For more great content like this, please check out the link in the description. There you can find other great shows, such as The Untold Podcast, which is a speculative fiction podcast utilizing the genres of sci-fi, fantasy, and horror, among others, in order to engage the culture's imagination from a Christian worldview. Every month, Nathan James Norman produces and narrates a new story presented in a unique and dynamic way. You can check out their podcast at untoldpodcast.com. Also, we are a part of Pop Americana, where you can enjoy other shows like Franchise Fatigue. Do you like movies? Of course you do. I bet you even like big movie franchises like Star Wars, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and Indiana Jones. And obviously, since you listen to us, you must like listening to movie reviews. But what if I were to tell you there is a podcast that reviews film series one movie at a time? You like that? Well, then go check out the Franchise Fatigue podcast over on your favorite podcast catcher, and listen to James and Gabe give an in-depth analysis and review on every movie in your favorite franchise. What's really weird when I listen to those, when we play them each week,
Yeah.
I can feel myself get tongue-tied the same time I get tongue-tied on the recording.
Right.
That's what's weird.
All right. So what's on the chat?
In the chat, on the Twitch, we've got Paul J. Powers saying, brownies. And he mentioned Spider Ham when we were talking about the Digimon, the pig Digimon that we couldn't think of the name.
Oh, okay.
So he said Spider Ham.
Spider Ham.
So Spider Hammon?
Yeah.
Anyway. And then he said, gotta go. Have a great night, guys.
Thanks, Paul.
That was early on.
Right.
Over on to Facebook. Once the cursor decides to play nice with me and come back over here. Where did it go?
Right there.
There you are. Back up here. Chase Murphy says, yep, that's Rube Goldberg machine, all right. He agreed with me.
Mm-hmm.
He mentioned the special brownies. And then Chase says, Jacob, don't you remember your short-term memory problems?
Ha ha.
And he said, anything for you, brother. And then Chase says, this thing will quit changing on me. How the Realist Hero. Yes, that is a good one. I agree. I'm enjoying it. He said, Jacob, you're just getting older. It's natural to be in the middle of something and forget what you're doing.
I've done that since I was 5. Okay. Just saying. I've done that ever since I was 5 years old. I could be 40 years old. I could be 5 years old. It's the exact same thing.
Well, we're just catching up to you then. You're just ahead of the curve.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a certain Joker once said.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, you ready to come back to this thing?
Yes.
All right. The following. Sorry. Let me do that again. The following is a spoiler-filled review for Digimon Adventure Try Part 4 Loss. If you don't want to be spoiled, you better turn us off now. Digimon, digital monsters, Digimon are the champions. Every time I do that, I want to not say Digimon Adventure Try. I want to say Digimon are the champions.
Yes.
After I say Digimon, because you just
very
quickly
it
I jumped right back into the actual lyric before I jumped right back out to do my thing. It messes me up every time. That's why you hear me kind of tongue-tied. Anyway,
welcome to my world.
Digimon Adventure Try Part 4 Loss was directed by Keitaro Matanaga, as has been the rest of Digimon Adventure Try. Also written by Yuko Kakihara, who has written the rest of Digimon Adventure Try. And, of course, Digimon was created by Akiyoshi Hongo. The difference in the cast this time, we've got Jeremy Lee, who is voicing Yokomon, Biyomon, and Maki Himikawa, and this time she is the voice of Homeostasis, since Homeostasis spoke through a different character this time.
Ah, that's right.
Namely, Himikawa. And in Persona 5 and Persona 5 Royal, she played Makoto Nijima. Also in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Kate Higgins was the voice of Nyaromon, Salamon, Gatomon, Meikumon, and Maycrackmon Vicious Mode, and she is Pauline in Super Mario Odyssey. Mona Marshall was the voice of Izzy Izumi, Birdramon, Garudamon, and Phoenixmon, and in the 1981 Spider-Man cartoon, she was Betty Brant. Jeff Nimoy was Tentamon, Kabuterion. Blah! Jeff Nimoy was Tentamon, Kabuterimon, Mega Kabuterimon, Hercules Kabuterimon. I'm sensing a theme. And Dark Get Jedi. And he was Nicholas D. Wolfwood in Trigun. And boy, can you hear it this time!
You can hear it.
Good night. I think they hired him because he was Nicholas D. Wolfwood.
From Trigun.
Aaron LaPlatte was Hackmon. And he plays the Duke in Resident Evil 8 Village. Jameson Price was the voice of Angimon, Magna Angimon, and Seraphimon. And he was Reeve Tuesti in Final Fantasy VII Advent Children. Michael Sorich was Elecmon and Machinedramon, and he was both the Dimple and the narrator in Mob Psycho 100. And Doug Erholtz was the voice of Daigo Nishijima, Koromon, and Metal Seadramon, and he is the voice of Vega in Street Fighter V. And I am holding off all Kingdom Hearts connections until we get done with Digimon Adventure Try, because it's just going to be repeating myself over and over again.
Right. Because there's a lot of overlap.
And a lot of the same, because it's the same characters every time.
All right.
Which brings me to the end of the cast list. Info and stuff, please, sir.
All right. So, as I've always done with info and stuff when it regards to these films, if you want the full production, distribution, what have you, go back to Digimon Adventure Tribe, Movie 1, Reunion for all of that. Otherwise, I'm just going to skip over it because you guys probably listened to it already.
Specific name of that episode is Prodigious. Digimon Adventure Try Part 1 Reunion.
Exactly. All right. So going into info stuff, this movie, Digimon Adventure Try, Movie 4, Loss, has an IMDb score of 3.7 out of 10. It was released in Japan on February 25th, 2017, and North America on February 1st, 2018. It was released on region free DVD and Blu-ray in Japan on April 4th, 2017, and in the US on April 24th, 2018. The fourth film earned 61 million yen, which is approximately $533,000 within the first few days of its theatrical run. Loss has the US gross of $159,000. So yeah, obviously its sequel is Digimon Adventure Tri Movie 5 Coexistence. That's all I have for info and stuff.
All right. Getting into the summary, as the Digidestined try to rekindle their friendship with their rookie-level partner Digimon, they briefly come across Meikumon, who has retained her memories despite the reboot. While the others get along well with their partners, Sora has trouble reconnecting with an amnesiac Biyomon. Later that night, as Tai and Matt try to console Sora, they are suddenly attacked by Machinedramon, whose attack disperses the Digidestined and Digimon across the digital world. Meanwhile, Nishijima investigates Himikawa's secret files and remembers her desire to reboot the digital world to revive her partner, Megadramon, who was unable to recompose into a Digi-Egg. Nishijima meets Hackmon, who relays a warning from homeostasis that King Drazel corrupted Genai, or Genai, however you say his name, and is targeting Libra, aka Meikumon. At the desert, Sora and Biyomon discover Mako, who came to the digital world in search of Meikumon. Somehow. I hope they explain that later. I'm assuming distortions, but I don't know.
Saying a word.
I'm assuming distortions, leaving it at that. When Meikumon attacks them out of resentment, Mako manages to placate her. Just then, they are attacked by Genai, who shows his true form after masquerading as the Digimon Emperor. He attempts to capture Meikumon and Sora's Digivice, but is thwarted by the other Digidestined who come to their aid. Genai reveals that the reboot was all part of King Drazel's plan to create a new world order where humans and Digimon no longer interact with each other. He sends Machinedramon and Metal Seedramon after them. Himikawa reunites with Tapirmon, but realizes that he does not remember her. And then she goes nuts. Tai, Matt, and Kari manage to strengthen their bonds enough to digivolve their partners and defeat Metal Seedramon. When Sora risks her life to protect Biyomon, she digivolves into Phoenixmon and defeats Machinedramon alongside Seraphimon and Hercules Kabuterimon. Despite this, Genai attacks Mako, which angers Meikumon, and she goes bonkers. Trivia for this: this is Seraphimon's second appearance since he first appeared in Digimon the movie.
Agreed.
And that's what I got for the trivia. Might I go first on likes?
Go ahead.
Because I want to get this off my chest.
Go for it.
See, in recent years, I have been annoyed by a trend in television. Now, it hasn't affected anime as much as it's affected other things, but we have had a trend going on in which television shows are lacking in opening theme songs. Now, granted, a lot of shows' opening theme songs back in the day sucked. I will admit this. But when you've got something as good as, like, for instance, Power Rangers always did this good, where they would play the theme just at the right time. Of course, it was part of the morphing sequence, so they kind of had to. But other shows do this good. But this movie actually does a very good job with a song that technically me and you don't have nostalgia for, which was Butterfly.
Agreed.
Because here's the thing. Yes, it might have been fun for that to be the original Digimon theme song, but I don't think it would have the same impact because the song has got a different beat. It's not really as active and fast-paced as Butterfly is.
Yeah.
But when that hit, I was over here on the sofa beanbag chair thingy, just going, okay, this is awesome. This is this. I like to call this the Sentai moment, because every time there's on Super Sentai, there's always that moment where they kick in the theme song as things are moving from the dark to like, okay, now we're about to kick butt, and they do that here too. And I actually went and looked to see if the director had done anything with Super Sentai, because I was curious. Couldn't find anything, but that's okay. It's Toei. They I'm sure the directors talk to each other, because that's Sentai also. Anyway, that moment when Butterfly starts playing at full, at the as in its all its glory, I guess is the term I'm trying to look for. It's like, okay, this is awesome. I don't even know I don't even know this theme song as well. I do not have nostalgia for this theme because I've only heard the theme like 3 other times, and it's barely been connected to Digimon those other 3 times. Not counting, of course, the instrumental versions we've heard throughout the show so far. But we get the full original theme song going full blast in here. It's like, oh yeah, this is awesome. And here's the thing. I didn't catch, because of the way this went, the fight scenes and all the Digimon transformation scenes,
Yeah.
they take longer than that song takes to play.
Yeah.
So it's at one point, and I have no idea where this was.
Okay.
It transitioned into the standard Digimon Adventure Tri Digivolution song,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't catch when it happened. It merged that beautifully.
Wow.
It just went right. It wasn't until I was like, I'm sitting there going, it's been 5 minutes since Butterfly started. I'm thinking, this is still going. And yet I didn't even recognize we went to a different song because it merged so beautifully. It's like, okay. When music does this, I get excited, okay?
I can tell.
This was great use of a good theme song. And when you don't have a theme song, you can't do this. That's what annoys me about modern television. Anyway, yeah, very well timed placement of Butterfly is my first like.
Okay.
Because I just got super excited watching this. That entire scene is awesome.
Yeah.
But I think it's made 10 times more awesome by the use of Butterfly.
Yeah.
Even
Agreed.
though I don't have even though it might have been also as awesome if we did the original Digimon theme song. Definitely not Digimon Are Back Again. That wouldn't have fit as well, I don't think.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
And the original Digimon theme song is a little slower than Butterfly, so it may not have worked as well. But, without actually editing it in the C, I have no idea.
Uh-huh.
I can tell you what song would not have worked.
The Digimon rap?
Yeah, the Digirap.
No, wouldn't have.
That would not have
Would
worked
not.
at all.
Nope.
So thankfully they didn't do it. Anyway,
Hmm.
your first like, sir.
My first like would be the rebuilding of the relationship between the Digimon and their partners. That was very touching. Definitely when you go from Digimon the last movie, which hold on, remind what the other movie is called again?
Confession.
Confession. Thank you. So we go from Confession, we see that scene. Oh, I did want to bring this up because that was really good because they actually do explain something. They do explain something to it's like, oh, okay, so why is this one person being so secretive, and why does the teacher seem to know more things than he's letting on? They're digidestined.
Yeah, I'll get onto that in a minute.
Yeah, I'd be like, yeah,
I have an opinion about how they handled that, but
yeah, I would agree with that.
see in a minute.
Yeah, that was interesting to see. And it's like, oh, okay, that explains things. That's why. Okay, cool. So you get into the Digimon and the Digimon trying to reconnect, or the Digidestined trying to reconnect with their Digimon, and you have it's like, yeah, trying to warm up to each other, and it's like, oh, okay, you're cool. And Agumon, oh my gosh, not Agumon, no, correction, not Agumon.
Not Agumon?
Not Agumon.
Okay,
No,
he's not Agumon.
No, he's not black. He's not black Agumon. That's totally something else.
I know.
But
There are like 30 different Agumons.
yes, there are a few different Agumons. But Gabumon. Oh my gosh, Gabumon. It'd be like, it's okay. It reminds me so, because Gabumon he's worried and he's insecure kind of character, and it's just like, it's so much fun watching him be like, once he digivolves into Gabumon, it's just hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious to watch that. And he's like, I just want to be around Mr. Matt, what he calls him. And it's like, yeah, it's like, oh, okay, that's interesting. But it's just this development of the reconnection of these characters. It's not a solid connection. It's not like how it was before. It's like you're building a relationship out from scratch. Say if me and Drew had drifted apart, and it's 20 years later, and it's like, oh, we need to hey, let's talk for a little while, and let's grab lunch or something like that, and reconnect and see find that passion we had for podcasting. But as an example, say if that happened, and which hopefully won't happen, I pray the Lord doesn't happen, but as an example, So in that regard, it was this building up, rekindling of a relationship with the Digimon and his partner, and then you get into Sora and Biyomon,
Mhm.
which is just be like it's like, okay, obviously these characters, the memories got rebooted, so they don't remember anything. Obviously, the Digidescent know what's going on, and so Biyomon, it's just more like, I don't know who you are, leave me alone. This is like, okay, that's definitely not Biyomon. And be like, it's
Well, I mean,
Biyomon, but it's not Biyomon.
I'm gonna talk about that on my next like. So
Right.
continue.
Okay. Yeah, so it's the reconnecting of these, the Digimon and their partner. Their Digidestin partner. Either way. So yeah, that's my number one. What's yours?
My second like is the fact that yes, the Digimon don't have their memories,
No.
but there is something that
Yeah.
is carried over across the reboot. Because here's the thing: they all know with the exception of Biyomon,
Mm.
they all kind of know to trust their friend. They're old partners.
Yeah.
They're confused about it, but they like them for the most part.
Yeah.
And they're all wanting to get to know their partners again.
Mhm.
I like when apparently Tai told Gabumon that off screen that that Matt likes to be called Little. So
Yeah.
after that point, after being called Mr. Matt for so long, he
It's
calls him Little Matt. Can I call you Little Matt? Why would you call me Little Matt? Well, Tai said you like to be called Little.
It's like, Tai!
and he keeps calling him Little Matt throughout the rest of the movie, which is funny.
That was funny. That was.
But anyway, but you get to the subject of Biyomon.
Mhm.
Biyomon is obviously the odd one in this because unlike all the others, she's the only one that's antagonistic to Sora or to her partner, and it's confusing at first. I mean, you look at some of them and you can tell at the very beginning that they're still wary.
Yeah.
They know they're humans and they don't want to be eaten by the
Don't
humans.
eat me!
But I mean, they come around fairly quick, mostly after eating food.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's more than just the one that turns into Agumon, because I can't remember all the baby level names. Koromon, thank you.
But like to be fair, most friendships are built over meals.
And there's nothing wrong with that. And
No.
admittedly, Sora's and Biomon's relationship starts off with a meal, the re-relationship. But here's the thing: I think Biomon at least remembers something of her feelings before the reboot for Sora.
Yeah.
Because if you remember, and they actually showed flashbacks to this in the movie, Biomon was saying, hey, it's great that you care for everybody else so much, but you need to care for yourself also. And you can, and even though she's, that level is very naive about a lot of things. Biomon was very serious in that scene. And you almost can feel some exasperation from Biomon over how Sora is just letting everyone kind of pull her thin. So when, what's the baby form of Biomon? When we run into her again, I'll just say that. We run into her again. I think she is remembering some feelings towards Sora.
Right.
But it's the frustration that she won't take care of herself.
Yeah.
And Biomon talks about that.
She does. Yeah.
It's like, you care so much for everyone else that you don't take care of yourself. That's why I'm angry at you. And I'm sitting there going, so you remember Sora, but you don't remember Sora. You emotionally remember her. You remember her in your Digiheart, for lack of a better term.
Digiheart. Okay.
But you don't physically remember her, and that's what's causing this conflict. That's why you're being so antagonistic.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And trying and pushing Sora away, even though you really do care for her. You just don't understand why, because you're confused because you don't have any memory of her. I like that they went that far.
Yeah, I agree.
They had no reason to go that far. They could have just had her's like, I don't like you, and that's it.
Yeah.
And then her come back around and not have any decent explanation for it. This is like, no, they actually planned so far ahead for this that they put in scenes in the previous movie to lead into it. It's almost like they were setting stuff up.
Yeah.
Amazing that they can do that. They need to be doing more of that. Because this is becoming, that is a trend that I'm seeing, is that there are a lot of times stuff that just happens with no setup whatsoever. I think I've complained about this on some other dislikes before.
Yeah.
I'm not going to bring it up again after this, but they actually did it here, and it's like it worked beautifully. That's my second like, is the fact that the Digimon actually do at least have some memory of some kind from before the reboot, and it's just subtle enough that it works. Your second like?
My second like, now this is going to be a little different. Dark Genii. Okay, so this was like
how we're a little bit off on our things. It's like your first like was the reconnection. Mine was part of that reconnection.
Right.
Your second like is Dark Genii, while my third like is how we're really starting to hate our villains.
Yeah.
But continue.
Yeah. So if you know your Digimon lore, be like Genii is the old man who is basically the guide, the guy who watches over them.
Yeah.
Kind of like a father figure to these kids as they're going through the digital world. And in the second season, you see a different version of him, which is a younger version. And so in this movie, apparent as the lore has gone on,
we get the evil version.
We get the evil version. We
For
get the
some
dark version of
reason.
Genii.
For some reason.
Yeah, because apparently it was what was it, Lord, not King, King
King Darius. Let me look it up.
No, it's a King
Drazel.
Drazel. King Drazel had corrupted.
Now, I got a dumb question.
What?
Who the crap is King Drazel?
I have no
Because
idea.
They act like we ought to know.
Yeah, I have no idea. Now
Here's the thing.
It could be in it could be in Deep Lore or Digimon. I don't know.
Here's the thing. I was curious, so I risked looking up King Drazel on the Digimon wiki.
Yeah.
As far as I can tell, this movie is the only time he's ever mentioned. Period.
Okay.
Am I right in that he's not mentioned in 5 and 6?
No, he's very mentioned in 5 and 6.
There is at least some issue, some problem.
Yeah, we'll
completely.
get there when we get there.
But apparently, I couldn't find. He was first mentioned in this, from what I could tell. It's like, am I supposed to know who King Drazel is? Because everybody else knows who he is.
Except
the
the audience.
Digidestin haven't been introduced to the name, but
Right.
all the side characters are, and King Drazel's like, who the crap is King Drazel?
So
Sorry. Go
no,
ahead.
you're good. So apparently King Drazel had corrupted Genii, so he became Dark Genii. And so we get this,
Mr. Jedi.
huh?
I'm assuming he's like Agent Smith in The Matrix. Mr. Anderson. Or in this case, Mr. Jedi.
So it's like, so we get the setup, and it's like, okay, then who's this, the Digimon Emperor or Digimon Kaiser or whatever we call him.
Either way, he ain't Ken.
No, he's not Ken. And so he pops up, and it's like, oh, it's Genii, but it's a Dark Genii. How did this happen?
And he's creepy.
He's extremely creepy. I'm watching this, and I'm like, not going into like, so I don't know if I can describe this. Can I describe this?
We here at the Cellcast podcast do not suggest acting like Dark Jedi.
No. Dude,
And to explain why, I mean, he does what I would, for lack of a better term, the Japanese sexual predator thing.
yeah, exactly.
He goes and licks Mako on the cheek in the way that they always show anime people being creepy.
I think it was
That's
Sora, actually.
Soros. I
It
couldn't
was
remember
Sora.
Sora.
It was Sora.
They were all in there at the same time. I don't.
Yeah,
remember.
it was.
I mean, I was assuming it was Mako because I thought this was fairly near where he was choking Mako to make Makumon Digivolve.
Yeah, he also just a lot of different things there.
And
It's just like, whoa, wait a minute.
And the thing is, you do not see that point coming.
No, you
You're sitting
don't.
there going, okay, he's just evil. Okay, there's evil things, but then he starts doing the licking thing. And
Yeah.
It's like,
And
this just went from a sequel to a kids' television show to dark kids television show.
Yeah, pretty much, because
That
they're
this is the kind of stuff that would have been edited out of Digimon when it came to America.
oh yeah. There was a lot edited out. If you look at the lore, there's actually a lot edited out.
Pokemon has the same problem.
Yeah, exactly.
And Yu-Gi-Oh, because
Mhm.
they're all kind of the same style show. But anyway,
Yeah, exactly. So, oh my gosh, just like the point where it's basically they turned Jedi into like this
a creepy
creepy person,
Creeper.
a creeper, and he licks Sora and he says all these very suggestive things. I'm like, what in the world? And then he chokes out and tortures Meiku, and I'm like, what the crap is this? I'm like, wow, this is fascinating. They actually went there with this character. I was like, ballsy with that. Just
because getting into my third like,
okay.
they are really wanting us to hate these villains.
Indeed.
They are not wanting you to think redemption is possible. We've just got to hold out hope.
Mhm.
No, it's like these guys are evil and you should hate them.
Agreed.
Because
Completely agreed.
because if they somehow come back to the side of good, it's going to cost them quite a lot.
Yeah, agreed.
And it's not just Dark Jedi. Admittedly, Himikawa does not get a big role in this one.
Oh my gosh.
But her one scene with Tapirmon.
Uh-huh. Oh,
I'm sitting
gosh.
There I'm sitting there when that scene's starting, and she's catching him saying, okay, so it's going to be like with the other Digimon. Tapirmon's not going to remember who she is.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe if she is just desperate for this, maybe there's still some good in her. Maybe it's like, oh, well, okay, so Tapirmon, you don't remember me, but I'm gonna meet you halfway, and we're gonna get together. We're gonna be friends. I'm gonna help you remember good times we had together. And if not, I'm gonna build new memories with you, just like any of our Digidestin would do.
Exactly.
That is not what she does.
No,
she's like, you're thinking it's going that way, and then she grabs Tapirmon, and the camera goes up, and it's the Queen Beryl, not the Queen Beryl. Who was the first villain in Sailor Moon?
You're asking the wrong person.
Yeah, that's right. You didn't watch that episode.
I haven't watched that episode yet.
Well, there's this one scene where they show
the big psychotic look.
Yeah, the big psychotic look. It's as Usagi's friend's mother who runs a jewelry store.
Oh yeah, I did see that episode.
She's been she gets the evil spirit in her, whatever, or taking her place, and they do the transformation scene, and they do the full horror thing. Where it's like she's the woman you know. She is this girl's mother, and all of a sudden she's turning slowly into a monster, and it gets very creepy. And it's the same face. It's the same face.
It's the same face.
It's
and it's just like,
I don't like you anymore, lady. I was holding out hope that despite all your evil machinations, you were going to turn to this. You're going to realize the error of your ways and turn to the side of your good. Nope, King Drazel's got you bumfuzzled.
Yeah, it just a heads up. It doesn't get any better. Let's just say that.
I was really hoping, because here's the thing, I understand why.
Yeah,
it's
understandable.
Why she's lost her best friend. She has a way to get him back, and she's gone to a lot of trouble to do it, even signing a deal with the devil.
Pretty much,
from what I can tell. And apparently she actually did lose her soul on this one. Because she's gone evil.
Yeah, she's literally gone off the deep end.
Yeah. It's like
a play on words with that. Let's say that.
It's like, okay, there was hope for you. It's gone.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see where this goes, and I'm hoping to see how you end up getting taken out in the series, because I think you have reached I think you've reached the Gaston level here. There just comes a point when there's no saving you. And I think we've reached that point with you.
Yeah. So kind of going to
from a story point of view.
From a story point of view. A theological view, that's totally
different. But from a story point of view, we've reached that point with her. There's not much saving her, or you've got to really take some work, and there's only 2 movies left, so you don't have much time for a redemption story left.
Yeah.
And I don't think you're going to have enough time. Because we still don't know the depth of her cruelty that I'm sure is going to come up.
I'm saying nothing. I'm saying nothing. I'm saying nothing. I'm saying nothing.
I'm just sitting here going, the voice actress, I like her in
Yeah.
Persona 5, which is why I've mentioned her, I think, every single time, at
Right.
least in some form or fashion.
Right.
But I'm going to have a hard time going back and thinking, oh, you're that woman, Queen. It's like,
Oh
this
my
is going to be a
gosh.
hard voice to listen to again.
But oh my gosh, that was so good. It was so good because you didn't expect it. You did
No.
not expect that.
There was you knew she was in deep, and that she was in trouble, and she was that desperate to get her partner Digimon back. You knew that.
Yep.
You just didn't know how far off the rails she'd gone.
Yeah, she, like
Until
I said
that
before, she
moment when
kind of
the-
went the deep end.
So that moment
Literally.
when the screen goes up and she's like, it's like, I've got you, my pretty. You will serve me now.
It's like I'll never let you. I'll be like she's she's
never
literally
let you
had a
go
psychotic break.
again.
She's literally had a psychotic break, and like one point you see her, she's carrying around like an assault rifle.
Well, she's a shady secret agent.
That is true.
Which I'm beginning to wonder, is there anyone above her at this shady secret agent agency?
Yeah, that is true.
Because she's getting away with a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, is it just her and Daigo at this point? Because that's about all I know.
Yeah, there'll be like there's obviously it's a big organization. We just don't know how
Well,
big
they've
this
allowed a lot of crap to go down.
That is
shouldn't
true.
happen.
That is true. That is so true. But
Scully and Mulder, they ain't.
yeah, let's just say that. Oh man.
Anyway,
All right. So
that's actually my end of my third like also. So if you want to move from yours to your third like, go ahead.
okay, my
But
third,
finish your thoughts on second like if you still have some.
No, be like, yeah, it's just this nice turn. It's like, oh, okay. You realize why she's doing this. What is her character name again?
You would ask me.
Yes, I would do that. Yes.
Because I lost her name in the middle of all that. So
Uh-huh.
that's why I didn't say it. I know it's in here somewhere. Himikawa.
Himikawa.
Maki
Yeah.
Himikawa.
Yeah, Himikawa. So Himikawa be like we understand why she's doing this. We understand her motivations that she has to get Tapiromon back, and it's like because she's a Digidestined, or she was when she was a kid, and she's desperate to find her Digimon partner, even though knowing the reboot is going to wipe everything. And when she does, she loses it because that has been her obsession for all these years. And when she finally finds Tapiromon, he doesn't remember her, and then she has a psychotic break. I've done all this work. I've done everything. I've sacrificed everything. I've literally almost destroyed the world.
Think she psychotically broke long before this.
Oh yeah, but that was
And
what
this was just
what broke the camel's back.
I think she has psychically broken long ago. That's why she went with Drazel in the first place.
Yeah, I would agree with that. You know, she, like you said earlier, she literally made a deal with the devil in order to do this.
Yes. She
And
was
literally
that desperate.
and played right into his hands.
It's like, and I'm sitting here going, look, I understand you can't, you're tired of dealing with the loss of essentially another half of yourself, the way these Digimon partner things are described. But at some point you do have to move on. You don't forget. You never really truly forget.
Right.
But you have to move on.
Yeah, that's what depression does to you.
Yeah.
Like you find yourself just mulling in a sea of regret.
I think she must have took a deep end, a cannonball into that
yeah.
that dark ocean or whatever you called it.
I'm saying nothing. I'm saying nothing.
Okay, Sergeant Schultz. What was your third like?
My third going into it kind of relates to my third. I did mention it, but it's the fact that Dark Genai tortures Mako like brutally. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. We've never seen anything like this in Digimon ever, far as I understand. And
Well,
we
it's because they're not targeting the child audience the
No.
original shows were targeting.
They're
This is
targeting people like me.
the people who watched the show back then and wanted a quick bit of nostalgia. And instead of just giving them the nostalgia they wanted, which we got all of that apparently in episode 2.
Yeah, pretty much.
We were going, okay, now we're going deep, dark storylines with darkness and chaos and suffering and blah.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, I'm actually enjoying the show.
Yeah. Be like, I'm to the point where like Dark Jedi's be like, yeah, if you don't digivolve, if you don't give into the darkness, your partner's going to die.
Give in to your
Yeah.
give in to your hate. Then you shall truly become I can't say the whole Sidious line, but anyway,
City of Slime.
Sidious line.
Sidious line. Okay.
Yes,
Yes.
but I mean, it does prove fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, hate leads to suffering. I
Indeed.
sense much fear in Himikawa,
Yes.
and for that matter, Jedi.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil dislikes yet.
Okay. All right. So it's like, yeah, this back to be like the Cassandro. I'm saying that wrong. I know I'm saying it wrong.
Cassandro?
Not Cassandro. The last note of something.
Crescendo.
Cassandro. I'll say it wrong all the time. I'm sorry. I'm
Crescendo.
Crescendo.
Crush.
Shindo. Crush
Like
Shindo.
you crushed your shin. Don't.
Crescendo. I love ADD. Anyways. Oh my gosh. Anyway, the pinnacle of this moment where Mako literally passes out and her glasses fall to the ground. One of the lens shatters. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. And then obviously Mekuman, goes berserk.
Understandably.
Dark digivolves. I'm like, what? This is how this episode ends? Or episode movie ends? And I'm like, whoa. That's why I'm like, okay, I'm gonna watch the next one. And the next one, I was like, oh. I had theories about what's going on. I was dead wrong. I had some right, but I was so wrong.
Well, thank you for holding off so I don't get spoiled.
Oh yeah.
I'll watch the 5th one later this week.
Yes. So yeah, that is my third like, is the fact that Dark Jedi tortures Mako in order for Mekuman to Dark Digivolve. Just like, wow, what the amazing.
So on that same note, I'm going into my first dislike.
Go for it.
At this point in the story, we still don't know why Jedi turned evil.
Well, they do give an explanation.
They give an explanation,
yes.
and it's a stupid explanation. It is.
It's weak. It's a very weak explanation.
The explanation is similar to somehow Palpatine returned.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
There's no
that weak.
There's no real deep explanation.
Like, no, he's just back, and you got to deal with it. It's like, no, King Daigo turned him evil. How?
Yeah.
Is using Rita Repulsa's spell that turned Tommy evil?
What happened?
I know Saban. Cut that. I know this was made by the same people who made Power Rangers, or at least the English dub.
Right.
But they didn't write this story. They only wrote the English interpretation of the story. What's going on now? Admittedly, 2 more movies, explanation could happen. I'm sure there's a reason Jedi went evil.
Yeah.
That's much better than Daigo turned him evil. I'm sure Daigo Drazel. Sorry, not Daigo. He's the tie of the old Digidestined group, I'm convinced. But Drazel turned him evil. Why? We don't know. We'll find out maybe. Maybe not.
Maybe.
It may not be important to find out. Because as far as I know, Drazel didn't exist before this movie. No hints that he existed before this movie either, from what I can tell. At least not in Try, which is, at least if they just started hinting at it in Try, I could follow it, but this is like, no, they just go and say, as long as you don't mind working with King Drazel. Who's King Drazel?
Who is this character? Why did this happen?
Why and how did he turn Jedi, from what I understand, like the Zordon of the original 2 seasons?
Mm-hmm.
How did he turn him evil?
That would be interesting. A dark Zordon. I'm pretty sure they did the comic at some point.
I'm sure. But still, I'm sort of going, how does this make sense? There's still a part of me that's going, this isn't the real Jedi.
Yeah.
I have no idea if that's true. Because admittedly, I don't know the character of Jedi well enough. Because I didn't watch Digimon as much as you did.
Right.
I didn't even know he had a younger version in the season 2.
Oh, yeah.
I just remembered seeing an old guy and him being called Jedi. That's all I remember. Riding on top of a chibi machine Dramon.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I remember.
Yeah.
So I'm going, okay, I don't know who you are, but you're obviously evil, and I really don't like you right now. And I remembered you being a good guy before, so it's like, are you even the actual Jedi that's been turned evil, or are you like you were when you were, is this just another form for your true form? Like the Digimon Emperor was? I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, my first dislike is that we still 4 episodes and Dark Jedi still has no explanation.
Like real explanation.
No real explanation. I'm not saying you need one right now.
Yeah.
But don't give me something as stupid as somehow King Drazel turned him evil. Especially since you just introduced the term King Drazel this movie. Give me something on King Drazel so I can understand how he's powerful enough to turn this major character from the series, make him do a 180.
Uh-huh.
I need that explanation, and you just kind of cram that in here. I know that the other movies probably could not focus on that, but just, plant seeds sooner.
Yeah, an unexplained, unexpected heel turn with no explanation.
Yes. But I recognize we're still in that shock and awe thing, and we'll get to explanations later. It's like, can we shock and awe with a little bit more lead up? So if I were to watch this, go through this later, I can go, oh, that's interesting. They were actually telegraphing this early, and I didn't see it. I can tell you that's not in here because there's not that much. There's no hint that they're even talking about this sort of thing. But anyway,
yeah.
Your first dislike.
Okay, so this is more a how. It's kind of your same way of how did King Drazel, corrupt Jedi to become Dark Jedi. How did Maku get to the digital world? Be like, she fell through the distortion.
Maybe.
And so be like, okay, we get the scene where Sora is following Biomon into the desert. It's like, okay, you're following her in the desert. You know how this ends.
You see, I've been through the desert on a horse with no name. I'm gonna walk down the train tracks despite the fact the train's coming.
Oh my gosh, that's
and the humans should have known better. I understand the Digimon not understanding.
Yeah.
But I'm just sitting there going,
it's a train. Move your butt.
I'm just sitting there going, guys, you're in Train Dramon's way. Move.
Minus it wasn't it wasn't Locomon.
I didn't say it was Locomon. I said it was Train Dramon.
Yeah, but
I made up a character.
Yeah, but it's
or Chuchuomon.
There is a Chuchumon.
I'm not surprised.
But
Astro Trainmon, okay?
My gosh.
It's about this. Anyway.
So mine is that scene. So then for some reason we have this very weird cut. And then the next thing we know, be like, there's Maku. I'm like, okay, I understand this is, this was first a television series and they made it a film. Or
no, it was a film first, but then Crunchyroll cut it into episodes to air. Anyway,
yeah,
it was created as 6 films, but before the movies came out in Japan, Crunchyroll had it and they released it in episodic format with weird cuts. I didn't get this far in the original showing, so I don't know how this cut here.
Right. So it was just that, I mean, like, it looked like there was either there was a scene there where it was between Sora and Biyamon, and then for some reason it cuts, and the next thing we know, there's Miku lying on the ground, and Sora's. They were in the middle of a conversation. There was something. There was a conversation going on, but then it's cut, and then it's like, oh,
Well, I mean, Biyomon did cry out
yeah,
to get their attention.
yeah,
So, I mean, there was that. But
yeah,
you're right that it is very quick and it's a very, like, 90-degree turn in what's going on.
yeah.
And then somehow they go from when they get Mako, it's like the next scene they have made it back to the forest.
yeah.
It's like, you were in the middle of a desert. You were staying away from distortions. Unlike later on in the movie where they actually use the distortions to their advantage. But that's beside the point.
Right. So yeah, it's that the very odd cut, and it was like, okay, it's a little bit weird, and it's like, okay, how did Miku get there? Be like, obviously, it could be a distortion. Yeah, I think one character does say it was like through distortion, but it's like, okay, but there was no distortion around her the last time we saw her. Either way, just give me a little more explanation how she got to the digital world. Beside, oh, we need Miku in the digital world to make this scene.
Actually, hang on. Deedlit, I got a question for you. Is there any chance that Mako could have followed our portal through that landed us in the digital world? Any chance at all? I can find the right buttons. You're sure? Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Apparently, there's not any chance she happened to follow ours.
Okay.
So at least there's that. We didn't accidentally cause weirdness to happen in a movie.
Yeah, good.
Thankfully. I mean,
Yet.
if there's one thing we don't need to be doing with whatever Deedlit's Deedlit's transportation thing is, we don't need to mess up the movies.
Yeah,
So, I
we don't need to destroy. Disrupt the space-time continuum in a film.
Yes, kind of a temporal prime directive to bring Star Trek into it. But anyway,
yeah. So yeah, that's my first dislike is, and so okay, how did Miku get there? Because I want to call her Mikumon, but it's Miku.
That's why I've been saying Mako, because I think that's actually closer. But it
yeah,
doesn't
Mako,
the Mekumon thing.
Yeah, Mako.
Yeah.
How did she get there? And be like, I understand that we get a.
Or you could just do like Mimi and call her Mei.
Either way, either way. Yeah. So that's my number. That's my first dislike. What's yours?
Despite being in the intro of this movie, Himikawa's barely in this thing. She's in one scene besides the intro.
That is true.
I was like, you could have focused on every character besides, because that's the thing. Now that we have her scene where she goes crazy, I'm sitting there going, you could have held that to like the beginning of the next movie. It just had to be a mystery as to what's going on with Himikawa, because that almost distracts you from the story that they were telling. Because that's the thing, is this still has to be a movie first and foremost, even though it's a movie as a part of the rest of everything. Yeah, you got to have your connective tissue.
Yeah.
But that just feels like, oh yeah, we need to have Himikawa show up here. Let's just have her scene where she goes bonkers after finding Tapirmon.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't affect the rest of this particular movie. The only other point she's in the movie is at the beginning where, and I'm going to get more into this in a second, where they are pretty much tell us they were the previous Digidestined. So it's like, okay, why are you here? I mean, we do at least, I think we get one other scene where her walking through the desert.
We do.
But it's still, you're sitting there going, we could have left you out of this movie and it would not have changed anything that happened in this movie.
Well, it was
not substantially.
No, I agree with you. I think it was good. They had they finally set that up.
Yes, but it was not done. It was not set up very well.
Yeah, I agree.
I would say.
I would agree there again. Having watched movie 4, movie 5, or movie
5 and 6,
5 and 6. Thank you. Movie 5 and 6 would be like, it does play in a little better.
And I'm sure
if we were having this scene set in here instead of the fifth film,
and I'm sure it does. It's just if you're going to have this scene here, because you have two choices with the way this scene is. That could have fixed the problem I had with it.
Right.
You either cut it and put it at the beginning of the next movie. That would have worked, probably. Not that I know how the beginning of the next movie starts. You could have had it as an after credit scene.
Right.
So there's actually 3 ways. Or what I would actually prefer, you actually put more of her in the story as a secondary plot.
Hmm.
And admittedly, there's
I'm-
probably not much for her to do other than walk through the desert, but she could run into other Digimon and she could talk, says, hey, I'm looking for Tapirmon. Have you seen him? And they can say, well, I think he's over that way, or I think he's over that way. Because honestly, I have no idea how she even knew where Tapirmon was.
Yeah.
I mean, she
Just wandered the
wandered aimlessly.
digital world to find him.
Admittedly, that's what the Digidestin plan was. If they didn't happen to run into all their Digimon at the same time in the same place,
Yeah.
that happened to be 5 feet away from where their portal
Mhm.
landed them. But Himikawa had to go pretty much all across that entire island. And she had no idea where to go otherwise. I mean, she may have had some idea because obviously she talked to Dark Jedi at the end of the last episode,
Mhm.
but she didn't. I mean, and so maybe he could have said, "Yeah, I think Tapirmon's overall. I'm sure they had names for all the stuff that I don't know the names of. So it's over in this area." And she says, "Okay," and she started going that direction.
Mhm.
But at the same time, it's like, okay, yeah, that's where he was like 24 hours ago before she got there. There's no guarantee he's going to be still in that same flower bed in that hilltop.
Right.
I mean, I assume they move around sometimes. And not all the time, because obviously Elikmon was still in preschool land. But they could have just had her actually have a search, even if it didn't go anywhere. So you're like, so in some way, you're actually hoping that she finds Tapirmon,
Mhm.
so that when she has that turn, it has a better impact.
Indeed.
Not to say it didn't have a good impact, it could have had a more forceful impact than the one we got.
Yeah.
A better impact, I guess, is what I'm going for. So yeah, I wish we'd gotten more. She'd gotten more of a story in here, because obviously she's one of our main villains,
Mhm.
and all she got in this movie was a bit of narration as homeostasis talking through her,
Mhm.
with a lot of weird mumbo jumbo I didn't quite follow, admittedly. And then her going crazy when she finds Tapirmon. That's all we got in this movie. Oh, and her walking through the desert.
Mhm.
It's like, there are other Digimon. You could talk to them, be friendly, find some way. Heck, find a distortion and get lost for a couple of minutes. Do something instead of just, I'm now walking through the desert, and oh look, at the end of the movie, and there's Tapirmon at the top of the hill.
Conveniently.
Convenience. That's my second dislike.
I gotcha.
What's yours?
My second would be there again. This movie has a little bit of problem because the first movie Reunion, the animation is solid. We're talking like action, the whole bit, great. And as the movies have progressed, from 3, 2, 3, 4,
You
now
kind of get the feeling they're slowly running out of budget.
yeah, because the animation has dropped a little bit. Not where it's
not crazy enough.
not
I mean, 'cause
crazy.
the
No,
animation is still smooth, but they're starting to take more conservative blocking shots.
yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes. Thank you for reminding me of that.
Now, to some degree, in this one, I think that's intentional to give it more of that Digimon Adventure 1 feel
Yeah.
for this area. But yeah, it's like there's like the most conservative blocking shots in this in comparison to all the shots in Tokyo and all throughout all 3 of the first 3 movies.
Yeah.
And that's like, and now we're one tracking shot and the characters are barely moving. It's like TV animation again. It's like, I don't know if that's what they're going for, but anyway, sorry.
Yeah, it was so yeah, you have a drop in animation. You have a drop in animation, and on top of that you have almost like photo stills. Am I saying that right? Like photo.
I mean, the backgrounds get that slow.
No, I'm not that. I'm referring to when I might be confusing it with another film, but there's this gap of scene where characters are talking and there's no character movement, there's no lip flap, no nothing. It's just static shots of like for like 2 minutes, like a minute and a half of just going from one scene to another, one scene to another.
I mean,
and
there was some of that in here. Mostly, I'm thinking of the scenes around the campfire.
Yeah.
And when Ty and Matt just show up on Sora's log there, and they're trying to get her to open up about what
yeah,
about
I would agree.
They don't
agree.
understand the painfully obvious problem that she's going through.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, Agumon's just floating by on a log.
Oh, that was hilarious.
That was funny.
That was funny. I was like, what? I was dreaming of fish.
Like, that's the most non sequitur move this could have pulled, and it worked.
It did
work.
work.
I was still sitting there going, because actually there was a part of me going, is this the same Agumon?
I hope it's the same Agumon.
I wonder if this is the same Agumon, or if this just happens to be another one, and they'll get this Agumon back, and all of a sudden, 2 Agumons. Who's the real one? Like, we don't have time for that.
Agumon Ben Riley.
It's the Digi-Clone Saga. Keep an eye out for Jackalmon. It's all his fault.
Oh man, but yeah, it's just like the you have some animation, and the animation does drop because obviously the action scenes are still just incredible.
Yeah, and that's obviously where they're spending the most of their money, which makes sense. But yeah, some of the standard talking scenes, they are starting to take more doing more camera trick shots to make it where they don't have to animate as much.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's just like your classic animation drops when you're dealing with a 6-part movie series or franchise.
But at least they timed it in such a way where it feels like they're calling back to the old animation style.
Yeah, I would agree
give
with
it
you
the
there.
same feel.
Yeah.
Obviously, that would not have worked as well in Digi-Tokyo, whatever that area is called. So wherever Japan.
Odaiba.
Odaiba?
Yeah.
Okay, then. I think that's still a fictional place, but sure.
Yeah.
Because I know that that building where they transport to the digital world, I have seen in other things.
Yeah.
I just can't remember where. Which is why I was
Heightened-
thinking Tokyo, because I think that's in the Tokyo area.
Yeah, it's in
Maybe one of the little communities.
Yeah, it's called Heightened View Terrace.
Well, that's where the original show was.
Yeah. Well, that's
Which
the
is obviously
apartment complexes they
Which
live in
is
Heightened
a
View Terrace.
fictional apartment complex in the middle of Tokyo somewhere.
Yeah, but it's actually based off of a real building.
Well, yeah, because it's easy to trace.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah. Either way, so it's my second dislike. What's your third?
My third dislike: the botched reveal of Himikawa and Daigo being Digi-destined.
Really?
I think it's botched.
Okay.
Let me ask you this: prior to the intro to this movie, what clue did we have that Daigo was Digi-destined? Leave Himikawa out of it, because I mean they were dropping some bombs that she obviously knew some stuff, so it kind of made sense that she was. But what clue did we have that Daigo was Digi-destined? Genai was obviously Digi-destined. He had Digimon before,
right?
And so that's not a surprise. Himikawa had some knowledge, but she'd been talking with Dark Genai. Daigo has been in the freaking dark since the beginning of the Digimon Adventure Tri.
Right.
What clue did we have that he had a partner Digimon at one point? Did we have one? Any?
I'm not sure.
Prior to this movie? Our reveal, as far as I can tell, that Himikawa and Daigo had partner Digimon is in the first couple minutes of this movie, where they show them fighting what I'm assuming is actually our main villain and doing whatever it is that caused their Digimon to have to revert to eggs, but couldn't hatch from those egg states for whatever reason, which is why she wanted to do the reboot in the first place.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that that's what that is, but it's like there was never I think still the character, our main Digi-destined, don't know that don't know that Daigo and Himikawa are have Digimon partners.
No,
we shouldn't know till they know, in my opinion, because it doesn't work that way. They revealed it to us entirely too soon, in my opinion. You could have had the thing with Hackmon, talking to Daigo, and saying all this stuff, because he kind of you can use that to start planting the seeds, because they even kind of having Hackmon talking about it and bringing up the fact that because he does bring up the fact that they were digidestined.
Yeah, he does.
If you had that be the introduction to where you're going, oh, because it doesn't give away a whole lot,
right?
In that. And then you're dealing with, of course, like I said, Himikawa going through the desert looking for Topirmon.
Yeah.
When she finds it, you're thinking, okay, you're still kind of coming off of the idea that, okay, she was actually she's actually looking for her partner Digimon. The problem with the intro with all that is that it pretty much tells you, oh, by the way, here is her and Daigo's entire main backstory that we planned out for this movie. For this 6 movie set.
With no setup.
With no setup.
Well, there's
not, you don't even get a musical. Now, granted, the animation in that part where they make it look like an old film, spot on.
Yeah,
enjoyed that, and I like the part where you get that little bit of a surprise where she gets the homeostasis eyes that Kari had last movie. It's like, oh, okay, that's how she knew who homeostasis was. But the entire time, they just show you all this stuff, and she starts talking the weird gibberish as homeostasis, and it's like you can tell it's like, okay, this is so the entire reason any of this is happening is because they're digidestined. Y'all could have drawn that out a little bit better. And that's like I said, I want stuff. I know it sounds like, because I know in the first part I was like, oh, they're not telling us anything. The shady government organization is not telling us stuff. It's not that they weren't telling us stuff.
Right.
It's that they were giving no hint as to where things were going.
Yeah.
So they weren't planting. It was obviously they were important, but they weren't planting seeds on why these two characters were important. And almost all. Himikawa, at least, she had some story going up to this point. Daigo was a plot device until this movie.
Pretty much.
In reality, he was just there to give some exposition to our main heroes, and now he's actually a major character because obviously he's an old digidestined who no longer has his partner Digimon. But unlike Himikawa,
he's moved on.
He's at peace with the fact. Yeah, if he happened to, if he happened to run across his partner Digimon, who I don't know who it is because they haven't said it yet.
Right.
I'm sure he would be very happy.
Oh yeah.
To meet back up and get that relationship back going. I'm sure he'd be very happy, but he personally has moved on with his life and understands there's more to it. That's why he's been helping the Digidestined all this time. When and it's obvious she knows she can't trust him with this plan because she hadn't told him jack squat, and she's just spoon feeding him some information that she wants the actual Digidestined to find. That's not a bad plot device.
Yeah.
But it's still, you're sitting there going, could you have given us more clue that the shady government organization was made up of old Digidestined? Because the way they show that shady organization is, oh, we found out about the Digimon because of a contact we had with a man named Genai. I'm thinking, you're not wrong, but you knew what a Digimon was before any of this started. You make this sound like it started up after whoever the last villain that attacked Digitokyo was. It make it sound like they didn't show up until after that point. No, they've been part of the shady government organization or whatever they're attached to since before the current Digidestined were born.
Yeah, I would agree.
And still, we have no idea what happened to Team 2. And you brought up Ken because you had to show the Digimon Emperor.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh yeah, we still don't know where they are.
Yeah.
Oh, at least we now know that there are Digidestined disappearing. And that they've been keeping track of pretty much every Digidestined around the world. Yeah. Because you see many of the Team 2, I keep calling them Team 2, but you know who I mean.
Yeah.
You see their names on it and listings of, missing, except for Davis. He's somehow not missing, but he never shows up in this.
No.
Because he wasn't marked as missing.
He's lost in his head. Let's say that.
He's the tie of Team 2. Of course he's missing in his head. That's kind of the entire point. But
Davis is a little more lost in his head. Let's say that.
Anyways, they could have done a much better job with revealing that the old Digidest, that Himikawa and Daigo were previous Digidestined
Yeah.
and had Digimon partners and could have handled that better. And the thing is, they had the seeds in this movie to do it and do it actually fairly well.
Yeah.
Even with the way the rest of the story has gone, they had the seeds planted in a good way here. But the fact that they felt the need to put the intro in this movie the way they did, that pretty much revealed the entire backstory, ruined what they had set up.
Okay.
So yeah, the intro I think is a botched reveal.
Okay. Totally get it. Totally get it.
What's your third dislike?
I really don't have one. I
like
don't.
Is it because I've mentioned what your third dislike would have been?
No, it wasn't. It was like I
You just like the movie that much?
Well, honestly, the reveal that these two characters were previously Digidestined, be like, we understand, be like, okay, there's something we're not being told as the audience.
Admittedly, that's not surprising that there were Digidestined before this, because it's odd that the Digimon didn't start showing up until, consumer level internet showed up. It makes sense that government level internet would still be producing Digimon.
Right.
But anyway.
Yeah, I'd just be like, I like the reveal. I would like if they would have like you said, played it a little bit more. They would have like given us, the audience, a little more heads up. Be like, hey, there's something more going on. Maybe you have one or both characters say something that would give us, the audience, a clue. It's like, hey, they know something that they're not revealing to everybody else, or something like that. So yeah, I would kind of my third dislike in a way is kind of reflecting off yours, that maybe these two characters, they could have given a little more hint, maybe a little more hint. Be like, don't get me wrong, this reveal that they were Digidestined when they were younger is a good surprise.
Yes,
but the idea
was not done. The reveal was not done well.
Yeah, the reveal was the laying the Easter eggs that they could have done.
Like I've been saying this entire episode, plant more seeds.
Agreed. So yeah, that is my third dislike.
Okay, which brings us to the end of this episode.
Yes.
Believe it or not, after that entire rant I just had, I'm still rating this an 8.
Yeah.
The movie has, to some degree for me, the last 15 to 30 minutes of this film make up for like every shortcoming this film has, because between giving us a good reason to hate our villains and Butterfly, it's just that last half hour is so much of an epic, finally getting back into, starting to get everything's starting to come back over the hump, I guess, for lack of a better term, of this dark middle part, but even still having some darkness going forward. You know what I mean? That makes up for a lot of the slowness and weird. And the thing is, this movie is actually paced far better than some of the others are.
Yeah, agreed.
So, and of course, even with my limited nostalgia, I get all the nostalgic feels, or most of the nostalgic feels in these shots. And, like we were saying, I think the more conservative animation style that this one, at least starts with this one, I think fits this, because it is trying to give you that feel of the old Digimon show, since we're in where the old Digimon show took place. So I appreciate that. But yeah, I'm still giving it 8, because this is like, it's serious, but it's still fun.
Yeah, I would agree.
And that's what I like about it. It's a good balance.
Yeah, agreed. Completely.
As all things should be.
Yes. I'll also
quote a certain purple madman.
Okay.
Thanos.
Oh, Mad Titan, of course.
Yes.
Huh.
Perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
Yeah, I would completely agree. I'm giving it an 8. It's there's the nostalgia of it, giving you what the fudge is going on here, character reveals, and it's like, oh, okay, this didn't turn out the way I thought it would. And it's like, whoa, okay, Dark Jedi, back up a little bit. This is, you're getting the creeper zone. Quit. And I was like, whoa, okay, that was just bizarre. But
Right.
overall, amazing movie, and I can't wait to review Coexistence.
Coke existence.
Coexistence.
I'm gonna start calling it Coke existence.
You would.
Yeah, that brings us to the end of another episode. Which, like we were saying, our next episode is Digimon Adventure Try Part 5: Coexistence. I'll say it right this time. Which brings us to the trivia for next week's episode. While Shout Factory handled the localization for Digimon Adventure Try, all 6 parts, of course, they are not the original localizers of Digimon. And most of the decisions that we're comfortable with are from this old company, this other company. What is the name of the original localization company that localized Digimon?
Mm-hmm. I know what it is.
And I nearly gave it away earlier.
You nearly did. You nearly did.
So, I'll be posting that question in the morning. So, I'll sometime tomorrow morning on Wednesday morning, I guess I should say. Go ahead and answer it there. In the meantime, do we have anything else before we close this out?
No, I'm good.
All right. So, join us next time. And this has been Drew.
This is Jacob.
And we will catch you in the next frame. Come, Jacob. We must prepare for next week.
Prepare for what, Drew?
The same thing we do every week, Jacob. Record a podcast.
Oh, boy.
So where can they find you, Jacob?
You can find me on Facebook at Jacob B. Heron, also on Facebook at Jacob's Daily Art Corner, where I try to draw each and every day. I don't get to it as often as I like, but join me there. Also, you can find me on Instagram at Jacob B. Heron, on Twitter at Jacob Heron, and Letterboxd at Jacob Heron. So where can they find you, Drew?
You can also follow me on Letterboxd at ggeorge759, Facebook as Drew Dodgen, my Facebook page where you can see pictures I've taken at Drew's Photo Bin. You can also follow me on Twitter at ggeorge759.
You can email us at thecellcastpodcast at gmail.com.
You can also follow us on Twitter at cast_cell.
You can follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/thecellcastgaming.
You can also follow us on YouTube at Cellcast,
Listen to our podcast on Apple Podcasts,
Google Play Podcasts,
Stitcher,
Spotify,
and your favorite podcast directory.
You can also listen to us on the Movie of the Week podcast with Jim Heron, where we talk about live action movies. And remember, Cell is a single L. I have no stinger, do you?
Me either.
Well then, well, I did forget to. Anyway, I forgot to let Deelan say she was Deelan.
Okay.
I may edit that back in later. Anyway, thanks guys for joining us on another episode. This episode will come out Saturday.
Yes.
Also on Saturday, I'll be returning with Sonic Saturdays on the stream for Sonic Mania.
Right.
So if you want to join me for that, and then of course next Monday will be another Dragon Quest XI stream, and then of course next Tuesday will be Coexistence, or Coke-existence as we started calling it this episode.
Right.
Hey, it could be worse. I just thought of another bad tongue twister we could have gone with.
Yeah.
COVID-existence.
COVID-existence.
Yeah. No, let's not have that.
No. No. All right.
While we were in the middle of our discussion, Dallas from Geek Devotions showed up in our chat. He said, "Whoa, old Digidestined, I need to watch these." Yeah?
Yeah. Relatively available.
And then he said to Josh, "Not much, chilling." Apparently Josh asked how he was doing. Then Josh said, "Because who cares about dollar store tie?" I get the feeling Josh doesn't like Davis. But Josh says, "I do like Vmon, though."
Who doesn't like Beamon? Except
Right.
he's a Digimon version of Davis.
Agumon. He's essentially new Agumon.
Yeah, that's true.
but not
he's
as, but not as
intelligent.
no, I was thinking not as stomach.
Yeah, that is true.
Not as driven as much by his stomach.
More hard-headed than anything.
Yeah,
Let's see that.
And then Dallas said he sadly got a crash. Told us to have a great night. And then night Dallas, and that's the end of what we got there. Let me see if I've got someone for us to raid. If I can hit the right buttons on here tonight. Heaven knows I've had so much technical difficulties tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Raid. See, we got Art, Mana, or Book of Gaming.
Book of Gaming.
Oh, if you want Book of Gaming, we'll go Book of Gaming. Looks like he's playing Final Fantasy VI. So yeah, we're going to send y'all over that way. Thanks once again for joining us, guys, and we will catch y'all later.
Later, guys. Thanks.